Welcome back to Issue to the Shoes. We are here with my weekly pool for the week of March 4th. This was a pretty good week overall. But let's just jump right into it with issue 5 of Nova Centurion. I think this issue definitely ends a lot stronger than it starts. I like all the ideas of the start. Kind of dealing a little bit with the fallout of the Imperial event, where Richard Nova isn't super jazzed about talking to Star Lord right now. It just seems kind of stiff and a little quippy for what should be a pretty serious fight. Um, but we get a little bit of cosmic horror. We get a little bit of a little bit of Nova at the end, and it's good, and I do really like when heroes, especially heroes that aren't super traditional heroes like a Nova or a Green Lantern, where it's like kind of technically their job, but them still deciding that like no, this is the right thing to do. I'm gonna go do it. Uh, I really like those kind of things, and we do get that here. Um, but yeah, other than that, so yeah, it does. It starts out pretty stiff, then kind of loosens up and really gets going at the end, and I hope it keeps going with that as we keep moving uh, through the story. Uh, yes, let's move on to the only other Marvel book I bought this week, and that is issue 23 of the current Amazing Spider-Man run. And this one I'm a little less jazzed about. Um, we do get some good stuff. Peter and MJ are talking. Uh, you know, uh, so I say Mary Jane, but Aunt May, kind of knows Peter well enough that him not talking to her for the last little bit, even though we know it's because he got shot off into space, and even though Ben Riley kind of stepped in to help, he only did it to a certain degree. He didn't really talk to friends and family. Um, we know that she doesn't know that, which is kind of stupid. Just I kind of miss when Spider-Man had like Mary Jane and Aunt May who like knew who he was. Now the people who know who he is like J. Jonah Jameson and Norman Osborn. And I guess Carnage, that's a thing in this issue. We're dealing with that where Eddie Brock got him a message that Carnage knows who he is, and that's a thing that I suppose we're gonna have to deal with this new villain, which don't even ask me his name. I couldn't tell you. Um, Torment or something in that vein. He's got super one arc villain energy where they're gonna build him up as like the big bad, the worst thing that's ever happened to Spider-Man. And then in 5 years, we're not gonna know his name. Uh, he's not like he's not like the Wall or whatever, or like Big Wheel, where like it's kind of funny and people remember it as a meme. People just won't remember this guy. Like unless there's some like Marvel mandate where he just gets put in every single book for some reason, he's he's gonna go away. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, it really seems these issues are going back to um, the quality of the Earth Spider-Man issues, not the Space Spider-Man issues that I was hoping. Because I really did enjoy the stuff we got with Peter in space. I think it kind of gave him a depth and a gravitas that he hasn't had in a while, and really seems like we're not going to be getting that going forward. I do hope that changes, but as of now, that's just kind of what we're in, and it really does suck. I do like I don't just like Spider Man. I love Spider Man. Um, he just hasn't been in a good place in a while, and seems like just Marvel just won't let him be in a good place. But he's talking to Mary Jane again. Maybe we do get some steps in the right direction uh, coming up in the next couple issues, next story. We'll see. But overall, it's my expectations are starting to be tempered with Amazing Spider-Man going forward. Next, talk about Absolute Flash. This is the end of year one for Absolute Flash. We get the finale of the story, a couple little epilogues showing where some of the groups of people are going and what's going to be happening. Um, is good. I do wish the final battle was a little bit longer. It really does seem it just ends really quickly. I guess it's the Flash. Everything happens fast, but especially with the sacrifice at the end of the fight, and maybe it's quick because it's all leading up to something bigger, and it's like supposed to kind of feel anticlimactic now because it's gonna be way bigger and way more climactic later, maybe. But right now, it's just anticlimactic. Um, but overall, I have really enjoyed Absolute Flash. This is issue 12. If I didn't say the end of the first year, kind of thing where I guess every issue has been a month. Um, but yeah, probably my third favorite Absolute book behind, no, fourth behind Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, Superman, Green Lantern. I don't think I forgot any. At least not in the ongoings. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of what it is. It's good, a little anticlimactic for the final battle, but that could be something that feels a lot better in the totality of the series and not just kind of uh where we're ending right now. As a this could just be like an act one, but we'll have to wait and see going forward. Next, I guess we'll save the DC's big dog for later. This is Absolute Superman 17. I do like this. They're really starting to get into the kind of hope and confidence that Superman gives people. He's also not afraid to mess around. He knows what's what, and he's not going to get messed with. Um, so we are really is like it really feels like Superman's coming into his own. Where we had the first arc against Lazarus, where he wants to do the right thing, but he doesn't necessarily know how to or how to make lasting change, and then he does take his stand in Smallville, and then he a little while being Superman, but he's kind of dealing with himself, hearing all these screams across the world, and then now he's kind of settled into I'm Superman. This is what I do. This is who I am. If you're against me, you're against me. If you're with me, you're with me. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. If this keeps going the trajectory it is, maybe it comes up above Absolute Flash for me. It's not there quite yet. We do get a pretty good take on Parasite. It's very kind of weird, where it's kind of like the same thing as, at least visually, it's very similar to that cosmic horror element I mentioned in Nova, where it's just kind of like a purple tendrils reaching out, grabbing people. But this parasite is actually like keeping people afraid to feed off their orphans and adrenaline. And it's takes Superman relaxing everybody, them calming down for them to be released by this thing. And really great way to end the threat while still, and it's like very Superman where he ended it kind of non-violently, and he's gonna find a place for this parasite creature that it can safely live somewhere else, and uh, he saved everybody through hope. Who doesn't love that? But yeah, overall, really good. Is I think it's gaining momentum. Get a little bit more Ra's al Ghul stuff where he gets kind of reluctantly broken out of prison, and I really do wonder where that's gonna be going. If Clark visiting him in prison like drastically and like materially changed the kind of who he is and how he sees things, and maybe even we'll get a more uh traditional Ra's al Ghul out of this, where he like believes in like the Superman mission, where he wants to like save people and save the planet, but he's still got some of that like ruthlessness and violence. We saw him when he was running Lazarus, so he's more that kind of like bioterrorist, um, trying to bring balance world, protect nature or whatever. Uh, the traditional Ra's al Ghul has. So we'll just have to see on that. And next, go to Batman number 7. This is the return of the Joker. If you couldn't tell from it saying that, honestly, this is probably my favorite time the Joker's come back in a while. The Joker's one of those characters that I feel like you shouldn't touch too often because he loses his weight, his like narrative weight. If it's every couple of years or even every year, there's a new big Joker story comes in and he makes everybody Jokerified, and then Batman has to cure everybody. Comes in with a new harebrained, crazy, wacky, severe terrorism plot. A year later, it it doesn't end well. But I think when you take a Joker and you change him up, it can work really well. Like I really enjoyed when Joker appeared when Bruce had lost his memory in the Scott Snyder New 52 run, where he's kind of like changed. Like he's like a person. He like kind of doesn't want Bruce to become Batman again because he knows he'll fall back into it and being the Joker, and um he wants kind of Batman or Bruce to realize like what he had and to not give it up for who he used to be, and it's super interesting that dynamic. This is very similar, where we get basically the entire issue is a conversation between Joker and Batman. Joker is all like hooked up to these machines and is like basically been like made sane, if that makes sense. Um, it's like simplifying it a lot, but he like is fully aware of his actions and he's not like a megalomaniac. Where he even says a couple of times where he's like, "No, do not let me out." Like Batman thinks that he's like, "Oh, you're pretending to be all right. You're pretending," and you're like, you'll ask for, "Well, let me walk around a little bit," because he's like in this vat, like a back to tank. He's like, "Oh, let me walk around a little bit and bring in the books and let me stay out all the time." And eventually, you're just gonna escape and become Joker again. And Joker's like, "No, do not let me out. I'm serious, bro. I I know everything I've done, and I've like internalized it. And I'm like a different person right now who is like living with the knowledge that if I ever leave here, I become the Joker again." And I think that's super interesting. We also get a gorgeous 2-page spread that folds out into like a 4-page spread of 2 pages Joker saying like, "Oh, I remember." And you open it up and it's this big, um, like not necessarily collage, but I guess like it's probably maybe the best word for you to like picture it of a bunch of the major Joker things throughout his history. Whereas like I remember you like you turn the page and you get to the 2 page spread, and it's like I remember when you open that up and you see all the shit he remembers. It's super great. Honestly, I don't know if Jimenez or Fraction came up with that. Maybe it was a joint effort. Either way, they're cooking. This run has honestly been fantastic. Um, I really hope this continues as it is. Honestly, if Joker never leaves this tank for the next 3 years, I am going to be so fucking happy. Him being this like repentant, like knows he's crazy, but he's not currently crazy, like Hannibal Lecter type. It's super interesting, and I hope they keep it. Don't like show him too often. He doesn't need to be a Watson to Batman Sherlock, but every once in a while, Batman goes and visits him. We get a little back and forth because we get a little bit of end of this issue is a cliffhanger where Joker is heard that someone's gonna kill Batman. He doesn't know who, he doesn't know when, he doesn't know how, but there's been a lot of talk that someone's out there to kill Batman. And Batman's like, bro, that's Tuesday. Like people try to kill me every day. Joker's like, no, this is serious. People are talking about this. I still hear things through like contacts and stuff. And it's like, it's bad. And he reveals that he knows Bruce is Batman. And that's like the big cliffhanger at the end of the issue. This is crazy. I am so happy with this Batman book right now. Honestly, this and Absolute are like right up there for me, like together. I think some issues Batman's better, some Absolute Batman's better, but like I've been really Batman's in a very good place. Just leave it at that. Bruce Wayne Batman is a very good place right now. That leads us into Batman and Static Beyond, which this issue is fine, but it really cements what I said last time I talked about this. That is, it should just be a Static Beyond book. Batman should not be here. Terry McGinnis should not be in this book. If he is in this book, have him show up as like a cameo to help out one time. This does not need to be a team up book. It has not justified it. Is really it's what really I think happened is they wanted to tell a Static Beyond story, but DC was like, no, you gotta put Batman Beyond in there because people know Batman Beyond. That's like the only Beyond character that we can be sure they know. And it's really just doing a disservice to both characters because devoting time to Batman takes away time from the real main character, Static, and we get, future Dakota City and all the Bang Babies and all these people with their powers, and he's helping them learn, and Richie's there, and we have all these characters that you want to spend more time with, but sometimes gotta get devoted to Batman. Like because you're dealing with all that other stuff, you're not giving enough time for Batman Beyond to kind of justify him being here. So like just give us the bulk of the story, the main meat of the story, and the Static Beyond, and then just give us a separate Batman Beyond book. I will always buy a Batman Beyond book. I will never not buy one. He is literally my favorite DC character and has been since I was a kid. I will buy a Batman Beyond books. If no one is buying Batman Beyond books, then I am dead. I will also buy Static Beyond books. I'm buying this book. Really, and that's the reason. It's like kind of a boring interpretation of Terry where he's back to being kind of show era, kind of fine at being Batman, but not great, and he makes a lot of mistakes, and he's got to make up for them. But then, like, He's not doing anything. We can't. There's not enough time for him to like grow and learn because he's sharing the book. There's not enough. I mean, he's not interesting enough in this book in and of himself to warrant him being there. So it really should just be a Static Beyond book. We could be able to devote more time to that story, to these characters. Where like, yeah, there's been Static books. When's the last time we saw Static Beyond? And if I had to guess, most people reading this book, they probably only know old Static from the Justice League Unlimited episode, where like time gets all out of whack or whatever. Like, let's be let's be for real. These are the whole Dakota side with Static. It just needs to be its own book. These characters need basically new introductions for readers who probably only know them from the Static Shock TV show. And even if they have read some comics, probably haven't read any comics where Static isn't a kid. Or kid, like a teenager. That's you normally kind of where he's at. So you kind of have to give people a refresher and like a hey, this is where they've been. You just haven't had enough time to really do that, really get to know these characters, and really kind of set the story in motion. Um, it kind of sucks because I do like the Static stuff. Just I really do like Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond should not be in this book, but we'll see if that improves. I suppose he kind of justifies his existence. Also, he gets a prototype bat suit in this for basically villain disrupts technology. Last bat suit gets fried. He's got to go get this prototype. It's kind of what I don't like in Batman Beyond suits, or when people make them like tactical. I kind of think that ruins the future aesthetic of like the smooth black, and then it kind of gets ripped and there's the red circuitry underneath. I think that's like cool and futuristic, and even like old prototype suits of the Beyond suit that we've seen in the past, like I guess the Justice League Beyond, a book a while ago, where he gets one with a cape like this suit, but it's still like the smooth black, smooth red, and it's still kind of those future materials. We just like it looks cool, it's well drawn, but like it just I don't think it fits Beyond world very well. So I don't care for that aesthetic in this sort of future. But I think that's about it for everything I have to say about these books. Uh, if you have anything you want to talk about for any of these books, please put it down in the comments. I'll be happy to discuss it with you. If there's anything I should be picking up, I'd be happy to read some recommendations as well. Uh, Other than that, do all the normal YouTube stuff. If if you like the video, like it. If you want to see more of this sort of stuff, I do a pull list video every week. Some are a little bit longer, some are a little bit shorter. Depends on how much stuff I picked up that particular week and how much I had to say about it. Um, this is pretty consistent content. New comics come out Wednesday. These get posted Thursday. Uh, so if that's something you're interested in, subscribe. Get one of these videos every week. Other than that, have a good day, afternoon, night, wherever it happens to be for you. And hopefully I'll see you next time.